Hello, people of YouTube land. Alright, so this is day 2 of all this nasty rain we've had here. Everything here is, well, I live on a mountain, on a hill. Some of you people that live in real mountains would call it, but I live up high. And so everything's wet, everything's flooded. But I wanted to talk about some real serious, some real life, some real reality, if you will. Buzzard. So what I want to talk about is, could you imagine right now if you were at work, wherever you work, and something happened, or even, I guess, bigger than that, if you had to leave the location you were at right now on foot with just what you have in your vehicle or what you can grab and put on your back and walk, like if there was some kind of a EMP, or you know, name your what do they say, pick your poison kind of thing. So anyway, this is what I'm getting at, all this blabbing for a minute and a half already. This, if I can find it, this is my get home bag. If any of you have been to any of the Arkansas Preparedness Network get-togethers, some of you may have seen it. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect at this. These are my thoughts and opinions. But today, this is something I think everybody needs to look at pretty hard. I know a lot of people go cheap on a lot of things they use. I'm guilty of not wanting to spend a whole lot of money on stuff that's probably just going to sit in my trunk or in some location to an extent. There are a lot of things you don't need to be cheap on, and I'm sure over time I'll cover things one at a time. But today, out here, if I had to go that way, well, through the chicken house, if I had to go that way right now with just this backpack, I'm going to be pretty miserable. It's about, the high today is 54. Yeah, I have a thermometer over there, and it's about 54 right now. Today is about midday. But if I had to go somewhere right now with just this bag, I'd be pretty miserable. And so something I think you shouldn't be cheap on, something I think you should spend a little money on. You know, you don't have to have top of the line, but is a good shelter, a good poncho, a good rain protection system, whether it's whether it's a rain suit, whether it's a poncho. You know, umbrella's not going to do you a whole lot of good. It could, I guess, but I want to show you my poncho just because I actually have one. It's a good one. I think I paid about $20 to $25 for it. I don't remember. I could always look it up inside and edit this and, you know, show you exactly what it is. But I'm pretty sure I got it off of a Sportsman's Guide. But I keep it right here, right in the top of my bag. I keep it in the top of my bag for 2 reasons. The first reason is if it's a dry day and it's a nice day, and you might think, you know, you're not going to need it if it's not raining. What are the odds? What are the odds that you're going to need some concealment? I'm not going to go into concealment and cover right now. A lot of people probably already know that. But if for some reason I feel like I need to ditch off in the woods and I'm gray manning it, I'm obviously into the gray man thing. I'm a pretty normal looking fella, except for my extremely awesome mustache. I kind of go with the gray man thing. This is a tool bag, and we can go into that later. But it is a tool bag that I ended up more or less winning, or was awarded for something I did at work. You know, I wouldn't pay for this bag. This bag is expensive. We're talking about ponchos today. But so my thinking is, The reason I put it right in top, it may be the first thing I need to grab. If I'm trying to get out of town and I see somebody coming that I don't want them to see me, I toss this baby, pull it out, throw it over me. It's camouflage. I know it's the old school camouflage, but it's better than being standing out there in a blue shirt or a fancy bear shirt that draws attention. I usually wear khaki type pants or something like that. I don't wear a lot of jeans. So anyway, don't go cheap on there we go. I hope you can hear me with all the rain, but it's pretty loud. But don't go cheap on your ponchos. Those little 99-cent plastic ponchos ain't gonna get you very far if that's all you're banking on. Just got a little bag, put it in my pocket or whatever for now. But it's that rip stop nylon stuff. I'm pretty sure it is. It's got little buttons on it to button it together, and you can button several things together, button several of them together. It's got good grommets and tie strings on every corner. But it's pretty big. And I'm pretty sure if I've got to put my bag on and hoof it, this thing's gonna cover me up. Oh. Come on. All right, though, so yeah, it's covering me pretty good. And I know I'm not wearing my ball cap. Something I like about this one is the end of it here is really long. So if I had my ball cap on, it would keep the rain off of my face. So here, silly me in my poncho standing in my driveway. But the point is, this poncho does two things for me. They keep me dry if I'm having to walk in this mess. I could sleep under it if I had to. I said two things for me. It does a lot of things for me. It keeps my bag covered. It's like a really huge dress. I'm not like super tall, so it covers me all the way down to my knees, and that's with my bag on. It gives you a shelter option, and it gives you some concealment, some camouflage concealment. I don't know, if I'm standing right there, you're going to be able to see me. But hopefully, it's better than nothing. It's better than having a bright pink poncho. I hope this makes any kind of sense. But don't be chinchy with your ponchos. Get you a good poncho if you put it in your bag. And days like today, you can hike out there. It's got armholes. You don't have to have your arms out. You could have whatever you need in here, and people ain't gonna see it. Plus, you're not gonna get wet. Out here in the rain. Another tip I have for you is if you do have a poncho and you do use it, let it dry out before you pack it back up, because you don't want it to get all mildewy and nasty. Alright, I don't know if this thought's complete, but it's kind of what I was thinking about today. I was, I had to drive into town, and on the way back I was like, man, I would hate to have to walk around in this. Luckily for me, I've got a good poncho. So I guess some side notes are, if it was you and your wife, you know, does your wife have her own bag? I keep my I keep my get home bag in my car all the time. I don't transfer it from car to car. Usually if well, I mean, if we go somewhere, I'll take a bigger bag, or I'll take this one. But you know, I usually only take my car to work and back. We do a lot of traveling in my wife's car because she's got a bigger car. She sees more people, and we have a big family. So, but what I was thinking is, it's okay to have those little disposable ponchos. You can buy some better ones at Walmart, or at least you could. I have a couple of them that they're more like plastic sheeting. They're a little bigger, probably about $5-ish. Those little 99-cent ones I do take with me, like when I go canoeing and stuff, or whatever, just in case of an emergency. They have their place, but I think if you were depending on something to get you home in a situation like this, you need good equipment. You need decent equipment. You don't have to have the best. You know, but having good equipment is a positive, is a plus, and it's going to be that much better for you. And what I was getting at with the smaller ones, there's nothing wrong with having a few extra small ones in your car if you do have passengers. You can huff them with you. They don't weigh a lot, or you could pass them out to people, you know, who may need it if you don't have anybody with you. Make a friend or two on your walk home. Because let's face it, if we are abandoning cities and trying to get away, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be walking near you and with you. It's not going to be just you trying to get home. That's something else you can think about, and we may do a whole different video on that, because I think it's an important thought, and it's something that people need to think about. I think it's reality. And so that's all I have for now. Just get you a good poncho. This one may not be the best. It's decent. I like it. I've used it for several years, and I've managed not to tear it up so far. Keeps me dry when it's wet, when I need it. And make sure you dry them off before you put them back up in your bag. Alright, so part 2 of this, I was putting my bag up, and I want to be not necessarily transparently clear, but that poncho, the whole point of me showing that, I don't know if I got it across, was that it covers my bag, you know, from the rain, whatever's in there. I have a wool blanket in there, you know, to keep me warm, and technically I could wrap it around me if I needed to be warm, or I have other stuff in my vehicle that obviously for cold. But this is another item that I keep in there, and it's a rain suit. Just a straight up camouflage rain suit. I keep it in my car because you might have to get out and fix a flat, you know, whatever. You might get stuck, and you may not need your bag. You may not need to cover that up. With a rain suit, there's it's like a system almost, I guess you could say. I can put the pants on. If it was cold, like it's cold today, I can put the pants on, and I can put the jacket on, and I can put the poncho on over my bag to keep my bag dry. If it wasn't so cold, I could put the pants on and just put the poncho on top. If it was summertime and a little rain wouldn't hurt my feelings, you know, keep me cool, I could just throw the poncho on to keep my bag dry, or I could wrap it around it, you know, make it a package to keep the contents, my food and all that stuff dry. So I don't know what that was. I guess it was time for me to, what's going on here? Low battery. Oh, we're running out of battery space. So anyway, the poncho is not a standalone system. I have more rain gear. Sometimes you need reflective rain gear if you're working on the road. I have an orange vest that I keep in the back of my car if for some reason I'm out by the road. You know, there are plenty of things that they're totally different things. There's a lot of thought that goes into every process But today, with it raining, rain protection, poncho, this just sits in the trunk, just like this. I move it around all the time. Worst case scenario, throw my poncho on, carry this with me if I need to take a nap. I got a plastic pillow. So the poncho is not a standalone system. There's nothing wrong with a good rain suit. Frog Talks makes an excellent rain suit. I have one of those too in another kit. This is the one I keep in my car because I don't care if I lose it. You know, it's not the best. It's not the worst. So yeah, I think this is gonna be the end of the video, maybe. Unless I can think of something else. So all right, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.